Welcome to this video series about how to save your marriage. This one is Why Do Marriages Fail? My name is Lee Balkum and I'm the internet's leading marriage expert, and I'm here just to chat with you and help you get started on saving your marriage. And that big question that we all start with is, what ends a marriage? Why do marriages end? And we're going to look at that today, and I'm going to tell you what I think are the real reasons. There are lots of myths of why marriages fail, and we got to get past those myths if we're going to get to the real reasons. The first myth is that we grew apart. I don't know how many times I've heard people say to me, oh, we just grew apart, we fell out of love, or some other such response. And these are all rationalizations that we tell ourselves of why we ended up in a divorce. We grew apart, we fell out of love. Those are symptoms of what's underneath it all, of what really caused the destruction of a marriage. We're going to look at why marriages really fall apart, not this rationalization that we use. Another rationalization is affairs and midlife crises. Now understand, there are lots of marriages that end because somebody has an affair or somebody has a midlife crisis. But I got to tell you, an affair is a symptom of an underlying issue. Midlife crises are a symptom of underlying issues. We haven't gotten somewhere that we need to get to. We haven't done something we need to get to protect our marriage from affairs and to protect our own psychology from midlife crises. Finally, another rationalization: we fought too much. Just too much conflict. We had to get out of the conflict. I hear that so often. Fighting too much is a symptom of the underlying issue, not the reality. The real reasons that marriages fail, let's talk about that. Neglect of the relationship. We just take it for granted. We get married and we assume that the other person is going to be there regardless of what happens, and we basically fall into bad patterns. And the neglect of the relationship is because we don't set it as a priority. So one of the real reasons behind this neglect is, how do we prioritize our lives so that we take care of the relationships that are important to us? Also, choice falls into this. We always choose to get a divorce. Understand that always ending a marriage is a choice that we have made. One or the other has made. And unfortunately in this country, a lot of times it's one person making that choice for both people. But the reality is that we choose to no longer be married. And we refuse to forgive and move ahead. That's part of what we keep wanting to somehow get some resolution from the other person. We basically want them to bend over backwards to change so that we have somebody that we want. And basically it's a refusal to move ahead that gets us stuck in that pattern. Which brings us to the final and the real root reason. We misunderstand marriage. We do not understand what we're getting into, and when we don't understand what we're getting into, we don't know how to move it forward. This basic misunderstanding of marriage is not understanding what happens psychologically, what happens in reality of us coming together and becoming a unit. That is so threatening to people that we don't know how to do that in our culture. And so the misunderstanding of marriage is the root cause of why marriages end. You keep with me, and I'm going to tell you how to understand marriage so that you can have a successful marriage. Now, the thing about all of those issues that we just came up with is they are all fixable. All those situations can be fixed. Everything that we talked about in those real reasons is fixable. The problems can be solved and the crisis can be fixed. I want you to find out how to do it, so I want you to keep watching these videos. You might want to go and grab my free email course at my website, SaveTheMarriage.com. If you want to learn more about saving your marriage, go now to www.SaveTheMarriage.com. That's www.SaveTheMarriage.com, and keep watching those videos.